Hi, just a few more tricks and tips to help you out with your FL Studio workflow. The first thing you're going to do is open up your FL Studio project. Okay, so we've got FL Studio open. I've opened it up in my default template, which I have changed to an electro template. You can watch my other video for more information on templates. So today we're going to be looking at key commands. So the first one is F5, which is going to switch to your playlist view. If you hover over the icons up here, it'll tell you in the top left corner what the icons are for. So for example, the playlist is F5, step sequencer F6, piano roll F7, browser F8, and the mixer is F9. Pretty much want to have these all memorized so you can use them quickly. There's also a variety of key commands for the tools. So for example, P is for the pencil or draw tool, B is for the brush or the paint tool, D is delete, and so on. Unfortunately, if you're using the typing keyboard to piano, if you go into options, that's right here. If you're using that, you can't actually use all of these key commands, so I like to have that turned off, and that'll make it a lot quicker for you to be able to switch back and forth. If you really do want your typing keyboard to piano on, you can just use Shift, and then most of those key commands will still work. That's what I'm using right now. Unfortunately, some of them don't work. Shift-C for the cut tool doesn't actually work properly. One thing you can do instead is if you right-click and hold, will give you your razor tool. Next thing I'm going to show you is a little trick that I like to use. If you select an area, double-clicking and dragging up here, now I've got all this selected, but I want to copy just the synth part of that pattern with the side chain. So I go to my select tool and highlight that. Now I'm going to click Control B, and it copies that part of the pattern. So I have just that copied over, and I have it selected as well. Now if I want to modify part of my synth pattern, all I have to do is click here and click Make Unique. I use that a lot. So right now I have the same pattern that's repeating over and over again. It gets a little bit annoying, so I don't want that to keep repeating, so I'm going to change just some of them so I get a little bit more variety. So now I'm going to clone my synth. So that makes a copy of it. I'm going to make this one a wobbling synth. I'm going to go here, add my LFO to that. So now that one wobbles. And now I've got a different alteration of the synth pattern. I'm going to add a few more things to it that I like, just to make it a little bit more interesting. So now I've added a few more things to that, and I'm going to make it a little bit more interesting still. I'm going to go to my second synth and add a few different effects to it. Another thing you can do is after cloning your pattern, right-click on the channel, click Replace, and you can choose another plugin. So now I've got my new pattern. If I go back to my playlist, I have my regular synth pattern, and I have my second synth pattern. So it starts to get a little bit more interesting. And I can also go in, change this one, change that one. So now I have my new pattern, which I'm going to select, duplicate using Control B, click on my kick to select it, and paint that over. That's pretty much it. Hope that's helped you out, and be sure to check me out at soundcloud.com/LexusChainsaw.